will make a way for you. You're not. Oh, keep holding on. Oh, keep holding on. He will see you through. I know he can be right. Only trust him. Only trust him. He won't let you down. He'll prepare a table in front of your enemies. He'll make a way for you. I know he can be right. He'll walk with you. He'll tell you what to do. He'll take good care of you. You're not alone. Say you will. Come on, move a little bit, y'all. Put your hands together. Oh, yeah, I know he will. I know he will, yeah. He's been so faithful. He will never let you down. No, he will always be around. Say that, company, say it. He will never let you down. He will always be around. Come on, sing it, y'all. Move a little bit when you say it. He will never let you down. Come on, this got some Chicago on it. Come on, sing it. He will always be around. One more time. He will never let you down. He will always be around.
I tell you when the sun comes up, you tell me when it rains. I hold the rope, I fight for you. You could do the same. I'll tell you every secret, oh. Just stay on the line. I walk a million miles for you. If we talk the whole time, I could bring the bacon home. If you prepare the plate, I make you proud, I'm waiting for you. If you come to the race, say I'll fly to the moon for you. That's if you hold me down. I'll build a pretty home for you. Cause if you stay around, whoa, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to really say is, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to really say is, it's a give and take. It's the ain't kind of thing, ain't kind of thing, yeah, it's a give and take. It's a ain't kind of thing, ain't kind of thing, give and take. It's the ain't kind of thing, ain't kind of thing, yeah, it's a give and take. It's the ain't kind of thing, ain't kind of thing. I think about you all the time. If you stay on my mind, I'll share my everything with you. If what's yours is mine, yeah, I could take you to the water. Yeah, we can go now. I can do what you want me to. Just if you show me how. And I know everything ain't gonna be right. Yeah, we gon' make mistakes.
It's a public invitation for everyone to turn into the flow of WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast on NAACP with Gwenette, Westbrooks, and Mr. Dumas.
And good evening, and welcome to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host, and glad you could join us today. Today, we won't be joined by President Westbrooks, but do plan to have a great show today. I hope you're staying cool. It's a bit hot out there, 90-something degrees when I last checked, and so we hope you're staying out of the sun and staying well hydrated on this very hot Monday. Also, coming up, the 4th of July. I know everybody's ready for Independence Day. We've already celebrated Juneteenth back in June 19th. And of course, now the celebration of the 4th of July, Independence Day, is coming up this Friday. And people are hitting the road already to get with family and friends to help celebrate the 4th of July. We know there were numerous celebrations all across the mid-state. Jones County had a fireworks show along with vendors and food trucks and all kinds of activities on this past Friday in celebration of Independence Day. We know that also one of the other big events takes place in Warner Robins. They had Sheila E. here in town, and also a Taylor Swift, tribute that they did as well. And so just a lot of excitement around the holiday. We know that this is one of the most celebrated holidays that we have here across our country, celebration of independence. And so we hope that you'll be safe and make sure you're taking precautions for the heat, because it's still going to be a very, very hot 4th of July. And so you want to make sure you're having those safety concerns taken care of. As we look at some of the things that are happening around the mid-state, we do know that the Supreme Court made a ruling on the birthright citizenship issue, and so it came in favor of President Trump's issuing of that birthright citizenship part. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and kind of see how you feel as it relates to the birthright citizenship. What does that mean across the country, and how will we be affected by it? Let's see, we have some information here dealing with that. It says, in harm's way, the consequences of denying birthright citizenship for American children and our future. I believe that it reads here, in 2023, the United States welcomed 3.6 million babies into the world, and says each of these newborns arrived full of hope and great potential. Since the inclusion of the 14th Amendment Citizens Clause in the Constitution in 1868, the U.S. has operated under the premise that every baby has an equal right to belong and engage in the pursuit of happiness. Now, this has a lot to do with the immigration policies that the current president has put in place as it regards to children that are born in the U.S. Under the premise of illegal parents. And so this has become a very sensitive issue across the country. It goes on to say that the 14th Amendment has served as a cornerstone to the commitment that every child born in the United States should be protected from discrimination and a case-like system based on race, ethnicity, country of origin, or immigration status of their parents. And so the 14th Amendment has been protection for these children that are born in the United States from illegal parents. And that, under this new ruling, is now in jeopardy, of course. It says birthright citizenship demonstrates the nation's goal after the Civil War for striving to achieve fairness, inclusion, and opportunity over the last 156 years. It goes on to say it has provided millions of children every single year with a solid foundation to grow, thrive, and contribute to our society. It goes on to say this core tenet of the 14th Amendment is now under threat. Since 1991, legislation has been introduced in Congress to eliminate birthright citizenship for children born in the United States to undocumented parents. Presidential candidates, including President Donald Trump, since 2015, have also expressed support for changes to the citizenship clause. And so this is what is at stake as far as the this birthright citizenship ruling from the Supreme Court. This is also a part of the immigration policy from the current administration as far as how to deal with children of illegal immigrants. We'd like to know your thoughts on this, and you can contact us here at the station. Love to hear from you. Call us here at 478-250-1444. Once again, that number is 478-250-1444. Patrick Davis says birthright citizenship makes anyone born in the United States an American citizen, including children born to mothers in the country illegally. The practice goes back to as soon as the Civil War, when Congress ratified the Constitution's 14th Amendment, in part to ensure that Black people, including former slaves, had citizenship. All persons born of naturalization in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States, the amendment states. And so you see that clause he mentioned there about African Americans born in the country as well. And so there has been some concerns as to where this particular amendment or this ruling is actually going, and what are some of the backdrops of things that could come from it. And so we'll be watching that, of course, very closely as things proceed in the immigration process. I also heard today that there was a woman that was actually detained by ICE in a nursing home in Pasadena, California. And so there have been no holds barred as it relates to the immigration policies. There have been some arrests of detainees allegedly in nursing homes as well as churches and schools. And so this is a part of the Trump administration's immigration policies, and these are some of the effects that it has had. On previous shows, as we kind of move to a different topic here, we've talked about SNAP benefits and how they have been affected by hackers, and how people have lost their benefits and found themselves when they go to purchase certain items that their funds were no longer there because of some of those hacks. We also reported that there were individuals from the USDA who have been arrested, and in that case, pretty much some inside type acts that were taking place to actually add to some of the crimes of taking those SNAP benefits. And so SNAP benefits, of course, have been a big issue, particularly in our state, the state of Georgia, for we have many citizens who rely on that assistance. And by them not being able to access those funds, of course, it affects the food on their children's table as well as their household. And so that continues to be a very big concern as far as how these benefits will actually be returned to these citizens, or exactly what will happen to them. Many of you have heard about the fact that the president's big, beautiful bill that he speaks about, that they're trying to pass by the end of this week, by the 4th of July. And there has been some opposition to that particular bill, but we wanted to kind of see and let people know how that could affect their benefits with this SNAP program. And I was going to pull some of that up and just look at how it's going to affect many of our citizens that receive those particular benefits, because it affects children, of course, and the ability for their parents to actually provide meals for them. And so we're looking very closely at that. It says that the Trump administration have several key areas that could see significant changes as it relates to this big, beautiful bill. These are some of the key changes as it relates to SNAP benefits. It says it would increase state financial responsibility. The proposal suggests shifting some of the costs associated with SNAP from the federal government to individual states. Right now, SNAP benefits come from the federal government, and so now they're going to be placing some of that burden back on the state. And so here it says, currently the federal government covers about 100% of SNAP benefits. This proposal in this bill changes could require states to contribute a percentage of benefits cost, potentially starting at 5% in 2028 and potentially increasing dependence on factors like error rates in administering the program. This could place a significant financial burden on state budgets. And so this would increase state budgets to provide up to starting at 5% as it relates to SNAP benefits. And so the federal government would no longer take on the 100% of that responsibility, and 5% of that would revolve to the state. It also says expanded work requirements. It says existing SNAP rules require able-bodied adults without dependents, which would be ages 18 to 54, to work, volunteer, or participate in training programs for at least 80 hours a month to avoid limits on benefits. The proposal includes expanding this work requirement to older adults, potentially increasing the age limit from 54 to 64. Additionally, exemptions for parents with young children might be narrowed, with only parents with children age 7 being exempted from work requirements. And so these are some of the changes that would occur with the SNAP benefit program in this new proposal. And also the Thrifty Food Plan, which is the TFP adjustments, says some proposals suggest limiting future increases to SNAP benefits by preventing updates to the Thrifty Food Plan beyond inflation adjustments. The TFP, which is the Thrifty Food Plan, is the basis for calculating SNAP benefits and is periodically updated to reflect the cost of a healthy diet. And says some of the other potential cuts would include a proposal to have also included eliminating SNAP benefits for some legal immigrants, restricting access to certain deductions like those for utility costs, and ending funding for SNAP education, which provides nutrition education. And so these are some of the programs that would be reduced or eliminated under this new bill that's being proposed by the Trump administration, which they are trying to get passed by the 4th of July. Also, it says reduce state exemptions, the ability for states to exempt individuals from federal work requirements might be limited under this proposed plan. And these are some of the potential impacts. Reduced participation. The Congressional Budget Office, or the CBQ, has estimated that expanding work requirements could lead to millions fewer people participating in SNAP. And so it would reduce the number of individuals participating in SNAP. And Patrick Davis says that the House resolution containing the SNAP changes and tax cuts passed last month by a margin of just one vote, 215 votes to 214. So the House resolution containing the SNAP changes and tax cuts passed last month by a margin of one vote. Quite interesting. And so it goes on to say potential impacts would we would reduce participation in the SNAP program. The Congressional Budget Office has estimated that expanding work requirements would lead to millions fewer people participating in SNAP, and also an increase in hunger and hardship. We know that in the state of Georgia, we have a lot of people that live under the poverty level, and of course, if those individuals were to lose their benefits, that would be devastating here in the state of Georgia. It says increased hunger and hardship. Critics warn that these changes could lead to increased hunger, particularly among children and older adults, and could strain the resources of food banks. And I believe even now, because I participate a lot with food banks as far as delivering food to some of our elderly people here in the mid-state, particularly the um, the Dempsey Hotel, as well as the high rise there on Gray Highway, and some other entities here at where our seniors live. That we every other Tuesday we deliver goods from the food bank to some of these facilities, and our elderly people, they look forward to those goods, those groceries that are provided, and so it could become an increased hardship, for many of these when they don't have access to their SNAP benefits, and so that's less food in that household, less healthy foods as well, and so hunger and hardship could pose an issue from this particular bill. It also talks about a strain on state budgets. Many states will probably have to recalculate their budgets according to if this bill is passed. Patrick Davis says Trump administration backed cuts of the emergency food assistance program have already hacked away millions of pounds of deliveries of food banks. That is because some initiatives, like one that gave food banks money to shop with local farmers, were ended this summer instead of in 2026 as originally planned. No new grants will be issued after the current funding expires. And so this is the impact that we're already witnessing as far as the food banks being stocked up with what's needed in order to provide assistance in some of the areas here locally. Also, some other impacts on programs. Changes to SNAP could have flow on effects for programs like school lunch programs, and some families potentially needing to apply for separate free meal eligibility. And so it would also affect the food programs in the schools, and who and how much um, foods will be actually received by students and families, particularly in those schools. And so the impact is great, and I do hope that people are paying attention. And one way you can voice your concern is by contacting your state representatives and senators and those individuals to let them know, how these things are affecting your families. Some other important considerations are these are proposed changes and are subject to legislative processes and negotiations. The, the specifics of any final legislation could differ from the initial proposals. There are differing viewpoints on the merits of these proposals, with some arguing that with incentives work and programs integrity, while others express concerns about the potential negative impacts on vulnerable populations. And I think all of us should be concerned in our communities as far as how these particular cuts could affect people, that people in your families. people who receive these benefits and need them. And we can readily say that we understand that our elderly people, we have to be good stewards over them. Phyllis Renee Theodore says, yes, the elderly and anyone having hardships need the SNAP benefits, particularly hungry children. I agree with you on that. We can't allow our children to go hungry. We know that it affects them educationally in the school. A hungry child can't learn because you got to meet that hunger need before you can um, actually give them any type of education. And so they go hand in hand. We've seen the impacts of free lunch programs here in the mid-state and how it affects children's ability to learn, and how it has enhanced even the fact of children staying in school. And we know even now during the summer months, there are meals that are being provided for children that we know may not have those meals if they weren't in school. And so that is a community concern, and we pray and hope that people will vote the right way on this particular bill, or if they will make some changes or provisions as it relates to the SNAP program, because it is very important in our community and the people that it affects. And so if you would call in, and let us know what you think about this big, beautiful bill as far as the SNAP benefits and how they will be affected, and how Medicaid will be affected as well, because that is another major concern in this bill, that it would affect Medicaid. And we know that our elderly people need their medications. They need to see the doctor, and many of them without it would not be able to survive. And so the very health of the country and of this mid-state and state of Georgia could be lying in limbo if this bill is passed. And so it is a major concern, because we have a lot of elderly people that in your family as well as my families that need the help of Medicare and Medicaid to assist them in meeting their medical needs. And so I'm sure this would also affect medications and the cost of medications as well. Patrick Davis says we have statewide elections, such as selecting a new governor here in 2026. More Black voters need to participate. Only 58% of Black voters participated last November in a presidential election, but 74% of white voters, mostly for Trump, participated. Elections have consequences. You're absolutely right. Um, if not now, when are we going to wake up and actually um, smell the coffee as it relates to the importance of voting? Once you don't vote and you don't participate, we have to accept those things that come down the pipe. And so we got to continue to keep our people registered to vote. And not only are we registering people to vote, we want people to vote. This past Public Service Commission was a low voter turnout, and that affects your utilities. Your Georgia Power bill, whether it's going to be high or low. These are the people that make those decisions about your power bill, and so that should have been a lot of concern for that, and a lot of participation, but the participation was very low for the Public Service Commission votes. And so we got to wake up, people, and we got to stay abreast of what's happening and what's going to affect our people the most. So you got to exercise that right. You got an opportunity with the midterms coming up, as well as this gubernatorial race, to do that. Okay, we got a caller.
Hello, this is Gwenette Westbrooks.
Hey, President Westbrooks.
Hi, I just want to thank you. I just want to say to the audience who's listening, if you have loved ones or family members that are incarcerated, whether it's state prison or whether it's your county or city jails. You need to make sure that your family members, and I want to make a disclaimer, this is not legal advice, this is educational advice. If you have loved ones in those facilities, you need to have them to sign a medical waiver. Other than that, they do not have to discuss anything with you in reference to those inmates. But right. If they sign a medical waiver, if something happens and they have to, any type of medical problems or something happens with them, they have to discuss it with you. But they have to sign a medical waiver for them to be able to release any information to you regarding your loved ones.
And that's very important because when something happens, sometimes, they're the last ones to find out exactly what's going on. And so in order to
sometimes they don't even find out at all. They don't even know that they're loved ones because they don't have to call and tell you anything because they're actually the state property once they're incarcerated.
Exactly. And so it's very important that they actually do that. And sometimes those things aren't easily explained to the families. And so those of you listening.
It's not explained at all.
Wow.
It's not explained at all, Mr. Dumas, and a lot of inmates don't know that. So I just know that that's what needs to be done.
Absolutely. So please take heed to that because it's going to be very important as it relates to your loved ones.
And we are actually, working on getting people, making recommendations for people to be released. I'm asking if anyone has clothing or shoes or anything like that, if you can please call our office at 478-305-3697, or you can call my number the office number. Because we want to be making sure that people that are being released have clothing and different things like that, because we ran into that situation last week. So we're donating, the NAACP is donating some clothing to inmates that are being released. We're working with River Edge to do that.
And that's male as well as female?
Yes, because River Edge is already inside the jail. And so
Correct.
I know that they're working on housing, working on different things because we're having inmates that don't have anything, clothing such as that, and getting out and don't have anywhere to go. So we're going to work hand in hand with River Edge because they're already there in the jail. So if you have clothing or anything like that you would like to donate, please contact our office.
Absolutely. Patrick Davis has mentioned that inmates, like all individuals, generally have the right to informed consent regarding their medical treatment. This means they should be informed about their condition, treatment options, risk, and benefits, and should consent to treatment unless they are unable to make such decisions. And so this is very important.
Right, but they don't know that they need to. Yeah, they don't know that they can sign that, and their family members can get that information. That's the breakdown of communication.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And thank you, President Westbrooks, for that information.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're running out of time here, but we'd like to thank all of you for tuning in today. We hope that you will have a very safe holiday weekend coming up for the 4th of July. Also, be careful with those fireworks. And a lot of people get injured this time of the year due to fireworks. And so use precaution when you're using those as well. So until next time, I'm Willie Dumas, along with President Westbrooks. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on next week.
You have been listening to the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette Westbrook and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4 o'clock p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants